Friends, I hope and I pray that you are experiencing God's presence wherever it is that you are right now. Throughout the remainder of the Winter 20 semester, you'll be seeing a number of these different sort of devotionals from different members of the Kuiper community. I hope that they're a blessing to you, and I hope that they're a way for you to stay connected with the community here at Kuiper. This is the first of these devotions, and it's called Go and Come. Disrupted has been my go-to word to describe the Winter 20 semester when talking with friends via text, via Zoom, FaceTime, Hangouts, whatever other tool to connect with people digitally there are right now. Within the last 2 weeks, Ann and I have lost a dear family member to cancer. Kuiper has moved all of its classes online and it has closed its residence halls. Anna has found out that she must take extra precautions as a registered nurse who is immunocompromised. It has been a whirlwind, and I'm actually super glad for this last weekend to settle into a bit of normalcy for the next few weeks or so. So we've grieved, and we continue to grieve. We've had the chance to catch our breath a little bit. We've took a step back from the news and from social media. We've Sabbathed. We've connected and prayed with our church friends. And I even created a Facebook account to talk about disruption. In the midst of all of this, God has really been reminding me of something that is familiar, but I think really comes alive in a different way at this time and this place right now. And I wonder if you might need to hear the same thing this morning. And this is what he's been reminding me. God calls us to be followers and disciples on a journey from a familiar or comfortable place into a new and unfamiliar place. I want to share two passages that I've been sitting with over the last several days from the book of Genesis chapter 12 and the Gospel of Matthew chapter 11. So go. This is Genesis 12. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed." So God makes a massive promise with the people that he has chosen. What started off as the calling of a single person quickly became the calling of a whole nation, the ancient nation of Israel, and now through Jesus has become the calling of actually the whole church throughout time and throughout the whole of the world. It's as if God is saying to Abram and God is saying to his people, go with the confidence that I will be with you every step of the way. I will bless you and I will defend you. Abram, I am faithful. So God calls Abram from a comfortable place to a new and unknown place with the promises of faithfulness and the promises of blessing. And that faithfulness is not only reserved for Abram, but also the rest of his descendants. And that blessing is intended ultimately for the whole of the earth, all the families of the earth. Through this small and displaced group of people that God has chosen, God will bless the whole of the earth. You see a foreshadowing of the upside down kingdom that Jesus preached even here in Genesis. So then if we're called to go and perhaps leave a familiar or comfortable place, where then are we to go? Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 and 29. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. If you're like me in your devotional reading, sometimes you have to force yourself to slow down while reading from time to time. So let's try it again. Take a breath, a little slower this time. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. How rich is that? The last thing that and I think most readers for that matter, want is another yoke and another burden right now. I'm already weary. But this is a yoke that's easy, and this is a burden that's light. I want to invite you in this time and throughout the course of the remainder of this semester to rest in the God who is unchanging and faithful in all times of disruption. You see, if you keep reading just after this, Jesus does some disrupting himself. The Pharisees get upset at him for violating Sabbath law by picking grain to eat with his disciples. You really have to appreciate Matthew's storytelling prowess here to put these two stories back to back. And just after the grain picking incident, Jesus restores the withered hand of a man as he entered the temple that Sabbath morning. Yet another act of holy disruption. In this posture of rest that God invites us to, we come face to face with a God who renews, who restores, who defends, and who blesses. So friends, in this disrupted time, I want to challenge you to look for stories of God working in the midst of this outbreak and in the midst of this disrupted time. Tell folks about what you're seeing and what you have seen. Though we might be limited in what we can do externally in this moment, God is not. So friends, go, or I guess shelter in peace. Come, Lord Jesus, come. Amen.